50 Shades Darker is directed by James Foley, and it is a sequel to the 2015 movie 50 Shades of Grey. Every so often, a film comes along that is so atrocious that you just have to sit, watch it, and laugh at it. And that's the perfect way to describe 50 Shades of Grey. I took the liberty of rewatching that movie in anticipation for its sequel. I laughed my ass off that entire film. That movie is nothing short of hilarious. So I went into its sequel just prepared to be violated and just to lose 2 hours of my life. Just gone. Never to get them back ever again. And I was honestly completely blown away at how just horrendous this movie was. The first film, as I said, is enjoyable on the level that if you watch it with a group of friends and you just make fun of it the entire time, and watching a movie that's based off of Twilight fan fiction that was written on a BlackBerry.
On my BlackBerry.
You wrote it on your BlackBerry?
Yeah.
But 50 Shades Darker, you can't even do that. This movie is so bad that you can't even make fun of it, of how terrible it is. This is a boring, poorly acted, poorly written movie about two of the worst characters in cinema history. What did this movie do right? What did it succeed in doing? What was the one thing that I left this movie going, hey, that wasn't that bad? Well, it's in frame. That's really about it. I'm being completely honest with you guys. I'm not trying to play it up for the review. There is nothing to enjoy about this film besides the fact that it's shot kinda well and that the people that are on screen are good looking people. But other than that, this movie has nothing. It's a barren wasteland of garbage. The biggest problem with both of these movies are the fact that Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey are just god-awful characters. They're so terrible and stupid. The last movie ends with Anastasia being like, hey, I can't be the woman that you need, and I won't be the woman that you need, so I'm leaving. Then at the beginning of this movie, Christian comes back to her and he's like, hey, I need you in my life. Will you please come back to me? And she's like, no. Okay, sure. Christian is such a creepy and weird and unlikable character, which is really compromising for his character because he's supposed to be this sexy, cool, rich guy, but he just comes off as a serial killer. These two are not sexy. Their relationship is so completely contrived and shallow. And the only thing they have in common is they're both having sex with each other. And speaking of which, the sex in this movie is really weird. I think most people would agree that the 50 Shades franchise is built around sex, correct? And a majority of the people that enjoy this film are women. And if you're not a woman and you like this movie, more power to you. That's awesome. But something that stood out to me when I was leaving this movie is I heard a lady say, well, this movie was dumb. I didn't even get to see his penis. And honestly, that might sound like a stupid criticism to have with this movie, but I think it's actually kind of legitimate. The people that pay to see these movies and actually do enjoy these movies, they pay to watch hyper-stylized sex. And these movies are supposed to be sexy. But 50 Shades of Grey as a franchise doesn't really embrace that. Whenever these two characters have sex, it's just in slow-mo with some R&B playing, and then it fades to black, and then they cut to them waking up in the morning naked on a bed. My point is this film, but even more this franchise, is not graphic enough to be enjoyed just purely based on sex. The ratio of sex scenes to completely empty, stupid, boring crap is completely offset to what it should be. If you want the movie to be about the characters, that's fine, but at least make it interesting, or have good characters that you enjoy watching. So you're stuck in this relentless purgatory of a movie for 2 hours. It doesn't seem to end. It's about nothing. The characters do not change throughout the entire movie. They're the exact same thing as they were from the beginning. I guarantee I could have asked 200 people that were leaving the theater, hey, what was that movie about? And they would say, oh, well, they're in a relationship and some stuff from his past happens. No, the stuff from his past doesn't happen. There's like 2 or 3 scenes that have to do with his past, but it's not about that. What is this movie about? Nipples? If you would have asked me leaving this theater, how long was that film that you just watched, I probably would have said a little over 2.5 hours. But nope, I pulled out my phone. This movie's not even 2 hours long. It's torture. They should use this instead of waterboarding. They should just show 50 Shades Darker over and over again on a loop. Jesus, I haven't even talked about the dialogue in this movie, which is atrocious. But what do you expect? It's based off of Twilight fan fiction that was written on a freaking BlackBerry. Some of the stuff that they say in this movie is so hilarious. And I was the only person in this theater, it felt like, that was aware of how awful this movie was. Everyone around me was eating this movie up. The character would say a joke, they were laughing. You could just feel that they were into this movie. But I was sitting there just like, I can't really say what they say because I'd like to keep this review somewhat PG-13, but let me just say that if a character says penis or butthole, that's not sexy. You're just saying parts of the anatomy. So it doesn't come off sexy, it comes off hilarious. Because they're trying to have the super steamy, hot, sexy scene. But then somebody just says something completely stupid and completely kneecaps the entire scene. And I just don't understand how people can watch this movie and think it's sexy. It blows my mind. I don't buy into anything that happens in this entire film. There's this scene. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you care enough to be spoiled about this movie, because honestly, if you enjoy the previous movie, you're gonna enjoy this one. You obviously don't care about reviews, so just get out now. But if you don't care enough and you're just here to see the bloodshed, then towards the end of this movie, Christian is like, I have to go to Oregon for a business trip. And Anastasia's like, okay, sure, babe, whatever you need to do. And then it cuts to Christian on a helicopter with his assistant. And then these alert lights start to flash, and then his helicopter starts plummeting to the ground. It's so weird that it doesn't set up this at all. It doesn't show like some crazy ex-girlfriend cutting the gas lines or anything. It just cuts to him flying around. Oh, what's that? A warning light? And if that wasn't bad enough, it cuts to Anastasia like watching TV, and then her friends are around her like, it's okay, he's gonna come back, don't worry, we'll take care of you. And then he just through the door like, hey, what's going on? Oh, what's up, babe? And he's got like dirt and blood all over him. I'm like, this movie takes place in Seattle. Did you just walk all the way from Oregon to Seattle? With zero medical attention, not even a shower. Guys, 50 Shades Darker is one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a movie theater in my 18 years of living. I hated every single minute of this movie. It took every fiber of my being not to walk out. I've never walked out of a movie before, but I was so close. Guys, there are 2 other movies that come out this weekend, Lego Batman and John Wick. Go check out my review for Lego Batman because, spoiler alert, I really like that movie, but I will have a review for John Wick coming out later this weekend. And do yourself a favor, skip this piece of dog shit and go watch those movies. So did you guys see 50 Shades Darker? Please say no, but what did you not think about it? Because hopefully you didn't see it, and leave your thoughts and opinions down below about something else. And thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel for some movie reviews and movie related things. And thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.